Hello everyone, welcome to Blue Dragon Universe. This is the Blue Dragon Actuarial YouTube channel. So today's video is a very unique video that you will not see any other channel. In any case, the video that you see in this channel would not be available in other channel because these videos require experience, extensive experience to build, and that's why this channel I believe would be different from other channel. If you believe in that, please kind of hit the like button, share this channel with your friends, subscribe. So today's topic is what failures you can expect in Actuary, and the way I've designed this presentation is the failure should be given in sequential manner. Like it will first you face this failure, then when you kind of overcome this failure, and then move to the second failure in that stage, right? So you'll always keep on failing, or you always keep on finding new challenges in Actuary, and how you overcome those challenges is how you became good at something. And you can also, like, I have also made this in a way that this is related to sort of my life as well. And I believe that because I have been in this industry for more than 11, 10 years, right? And I believe that this would everyone probably would be passing through the stage, and then they would reach that stage where currently I am in, and also facing challenge at that level, right? So actually is a field where you constantly face challenge. Unless you keep on learning, you are never going to get past those challenge, right? So moving on, the first failure that you can kind of see is first, where there is a lot of hue and cry, lot of LinkedIn motivational post and everything is about passing papers. Maybe if you are not able to pass the paper, then that is something that would show that you are probably not fit for. Actually, you might be a great fit for something else in professional field. Maybe you can be a very good CA, or you can be a very good MBA, but may not be a good actually. So if you face difficulty in passing papers, like if you are stuck in a couple of papers for years and years and you're still not able to clear, either you need to change your mentor if you have a mentor, or you need to change your approach, right? Or your self study is not sufficient. Usually self study should be sufficient, right? And you might have a mentor who will help you in that self study, like the courses that we have designed in Blue Dragon Universe. By the way, you can check out our courses. The link would be in the description. We have kind of two unconventional courses called Sparkle One and Actual Engineering, Inner Engineering. So Sparkle One is our attempt to kind of explain the bigger picture in life insurance numerically. And if you understand something numerically, it stays in your brain for, I think for infinity, because you never forget that. And similarly, actual inner engineering is where we go inside actual software, which you cannot, kind of download in your system, right? So that is how it is built. You can only get that access to an actual software when you work in a company. But in our course, we'll be able to learn about the inner workings of an actual software, so that that will ease the job of getting an interview or path clearing an interview. Both Sparkle One and actual inner engineering are kind of created in that manner, and we have got tremendous response for Sparkle One. But for actual inner engineering, which is a live workshop, we have not got that great response. But we'll still continue with that for a year, see how the actual student community kind of, whether they realize the importance of it or not. If they don't realize the importance of it, then what is the purpose? Then we might not continue with that. That is a live course where I'll be teaching you, or someone who is well versed in actual software will be teaching you live, right? And it will be conducted over weekend. So we need 12 registration at least to go through actual inner engineering. Frankly, I believe that is the best course that we have. And maybe I can also show you the other courses since we are talking about the courses. So right now, these are the courses that we have: SP2, SS7, SP1 is also coming up. We'll be hitting all of this in May 30, like May 31st. If you are following our LinkedIn page, by the way, the LinkedIn page link is also given in the description. You must follow our LinkedIn page because all the update about Blue Dragon Universe will be given in that LinkedIn page. So you must follow that. So these are, as you know, these are the actual normal, papers, right? Like we are discussing about the failure of papers. And these two are our unconventional courses, actually in engineering and Sparkle One. This is priced very, very, cheaply at 1,000, and probably we're going to increase the price from May. And actually in engineering priced at I think 12,000, and that's why we require 12 people at least to kind of start with this. So if you are interested in this course, and if you have a couple of your friends who want to kind of join, then you have to I think you can invite them, and you can all of you can register for this so that you get able to start. In any case, you do not need to wait for anyone. If you feel that you want to do this, just register. Whenever we get to a registration, we'll inform you. And by the way, if by any chance if we do not get to a registration for 365 days, then your money will be refunded, right? Other than the tax portion, so your money will be refunded. So yeah, that's how it is. Now moving back to the topic, do check out these courses, right? And if you want to purchase anything, go ahead, and trust me, a lot of experience has gone into making those courses, and the industry experience can be linked with paper. So that just make those courses as powerful as they are. So if you are facing difficulty in clearing papers, then stop there. Actually, may not be for you. Maybe do an MBA or something else, and you might be very good in that field. Actually, may not be for you. Now, suppose you are passing papers, but you are not getting jobs and internship, which is currently the stage for many people, because after IFA has gone into that online mode, many people are cheating or colluding in groups to pass exam. By that way, they pass the exam, but once again, your knowledge will be tested in an internship or job interview. You will not be able to collude there, right? So many people are stuck in this zone. That's why I mark this in red. I can say 90% of the people of the current actual student are stuck in this zone where they are not getting internship or job, or also because of the higher demand supply mismatch at the fresher level. There are too many freshers, so that's why getting a job is difficult, and more difficult if you do not have the knowledge. Although you have passed maybe 5 papers, you do not have the knowledge for that 5 papers. You have just crammed up questions, patterns, and then you have passed exam, which is what is promoted by many actual centers. Like immediately after exam, you enroll for the another paper, you purchase the other paper, right? And that's how you move from one paper to another paper. You do not kind of crystallize the concept in one paper, and in that way, you never have the knowledge for the other paper, and you just became a paper actually, which is what I call, right? So if you might have difficulty in getting internship and jobs, so now obviously for to kind of overcome this, you need to maybe you need a good mentor, right? And or you need to purchase course like inner engineering, spark 11. Those are our attempt to kind of bridge this gap, right? Because this is where 90% of the student lies. Now people have passed papers and they have got job, but they lacks knowledge. They are like they are the least performing employee. You understand that there are people who are better than you, and although you might have clear paper, more papers than them, but you lack the knowledge, and somewhere at your back, people ridicule you, right? And let me tell you that I have passed through all the stages, right? I have passed through all the stages. So it means that I have difficulty in passing paper. Then when I overcome that, when I understood what is required to kind of pass the paper, then I have got that difficulty in getting a job or internship. In my case, I did MBA before. I had no idea what actually. So I was placed in a life insurance company, but not in actual department. And then I tried to move into the actual department of that company. Did not happen. I was trying to get into switch jobs, right? But then I did not have that software experience like they were asking for, profit experience or access experience. I was not having good other knowledge like software knowledge, Excel, VBA, this knowledge, or I did not have those knowledge. So I was struggling to get jobs, right? And one thing, that's why I realized that getting a job and passing a paper are two separate things. Get passing paper is way easier as compared to getting a job, because in job you would be like grilled. Your knowledge will be tested and checked, and they would be tested and checked by people who are quite experienced. Maybe if I am taking your interview, I have 10 years of work ex, so I'll use my 10 years of work ex to kind of evaluate you. And if you can't uh, match the parameters or be above certain level, then you are not going to get the job, because I have too many people to evaluate, because there is a supply and demand mismatch. So you can see that that's a difficult situation for you, right? Now, once you get the job, you lack knowledge. I've seen people struggling to perform and struggling in the papers as well, because still then they were in college, their parents were taking care of their finances, and the only thing they had to do is to study. Now you have a 10 hours job, right? Because in India, They say it is 8 hours or 9 hours, but if actually, there is some travel time as well. And if, in fact, you are lucky to have a 10-hour job, it might end up being 12 hour, 11 hour. You would have difficulty studying regularly. And that is why you now, with this problem, lack of knowledge, because you are not understanding what is required of you, what you need to do in job, that mental pressure, and then you are not able to study. So then again, you move into this cycle of not passing paper, right? So that's how job can hinder your paper progress as well, right? So here, if you lack knowledge and if you are not able to cope up with the job pressure or the demands of the job, then also that's a big failure, right? Many people lies in that zone. Once again, I have also faced this difficulty. Then I have obviously overcome those difficulty, right? Then you passed papers, you got job, but got fired because you lack knowledge and you got fired. I know two people at least in my life who were very close to qualification, like one paper short, and got fired. Like asked to put down their papers. These days, you do not get fired like get fired. You would be asked to put down your papers. Like forcibly, you would be asked to put down your papers, especially if you are in the probationary period. So I have seen people lot of papers, but getting fired, right? And the emotional trauma to those people because they have done so well academically, even because most people associate actually papers and they have done so well there as well, at that point of time 14 papers, but then still lack the knowledge, and that's why I got fired. So that is an additional problem that you face that you are probably not aware of, because even your parents, even your friends ask you what are the number of papers that you have cleared, because that's what actually seemingly about, that's what coaching center publishes, that's what Institute of Actuaries of India publishes or IFI publishes. But nobody tells you the truth that actuarial knowledge or skill lies outside the papers. Papers are very extreme, outdated, simplified knowledge, and that is not required in the real world, or that is like that the relevance of that is very very less in the real world. So you need hardcore practical workings to survive in the real or to get better in the real world. If you can't have that, people get fired, especially those people who are very academic, very studious, who have got 95%, 98% overall. These are the people who face this difficulty because they have that thought process that I have to do well in papers. But because they are too much focused on papers, they can't just seem to pick things up in job, which is much more difficult because there is no set pattern in a job. That's why they face the difficulty. If you till this point, if you are relating any of this failure with yourself, then please hit the like button. And also, if you have a story that how you have overcome those, write that in the comment section as well. Moving on. So then come the difficult, maybe the most difficult section is the past papers, got job, have some mediocre knowledge, like adapted to the work knowledge, but can't get actual job. Now, these days, there are many companies which gives technical job, like maybe I don't want to take name of any company, but they give you ID job, data clearing job, or how to modify the data in a particular manner. So you have some decent knowledge, but you are not getting actual job, or maybe you have switched, being desperate, and got into this job. But then you have realized what blunder you have done, because it will be very difficult for you to switch to a proper company. So the knowledge that you are getting is not actual knowledge; it's something else which would not help in your actual journey, right? So that is what is the failure. Many people also get stuck in this role, and when they come out of this failure, when they finally overcome the challenge, it's already too late. So if you are in a sort of company which is giving you technical role only, by technical I means the IT driven role, then you have to change your company ASAP, because otherwise it will be very very late, and you might struggle to get into a good actual profile and good company. Then you have passed papers, you have got job, you have some medical knowledge, and you have got a real actual job, but don't understand softwares, right? So if you do not understand actual softwares, and there is a learning curve associated with any actual software, especially in life insurance, general insurance, they use Python or SAS. These days, mostly Python, R, because that you can install in your system and you can learn. But software like Profit, Hue Access, or Moody's Access can't learn those in your home. So that's why our course of inner engineering, because we would be teaching those softwares to you and what works inside that software, because we can't teach you the software, that would be licensing issue. with different companies, but because they don't want to give us the license to teach, right? That's how the companies are kind of created. They want to keep those teaching or coaching things to themselves, but we can't teach them, teach us, or we can teach you about the inner workings of an actual software, and that principle will stay the same for all actual software. So if you understand the inner workings of one actual software, you can apply that in other actual software, right? That's how I have learned. When I, first I was exposed to Profit, and then I had quite a bit of difficulty in understanding what goes there. Although Profit is quite transparent, there is something called diagram view where you can see everything, but you get lost in the diagram view. Like from one section to another section, how something is happening. There is so much of coding that is written, and those code as 1970 codes. So those are written in a very tough manner, sort of, you know. So that's why it's very difficult to understand what is going on. But when I understood that, and then I moved into Access, then I was able to use what I've learned or the principles that I've learned in Profit to Access. Right? And that's what is kind of important. Along with that, you also need to learn about other softwares like SQL, Excel, VBA, right? I was talking to a person a couple of days back, and he was saying that I these days I can use Chat GPT and I can write Excel function and Excel software. The problem is Chat GPT is right only maybe 40% of the time, 60% of the time Chat GPT would be giving you rubbish and gibberish things. And I have tested that. You can test it yourself. If it is a very simple formula, ChatGPT can give you the solution. But if it is a difficult formula, right, which usually would be the case in an actuary, ChatGPT will struggle to give you a solution. ChatGPT does not know to code, and any actual AI platform till now do not know to code because they are using the ChatGPT API. Now, what is API? API is like the database of ChatGPT can be used by any other actual or any other AI software, right? So that's how you can create your own sort of ChatGPT. It is very easy. You can do that in 2 hours if you spend some time understanding that. But in any case, I don't want to get into that. But if most of these database are limited in that manner, so nothing would replace your brain. It's only your own foolishness that you think that AI has overtaken us at this point of time. That is not the case. So there are so many things that you can do in Excel, things like array formulas, and there are so many things like you can. Excel is such a vast software that there is very little that you know of Excel, and I would say that I also know very little of Excel. So I mean, yeah, there is so many things you can do. Do not rely on Chat GPT. Do not rely on something else to be your source of success. If you want to do something, you need to know something of your own, right? And then you know up to a certain level, maybe you know 60% of Excel, remaining 40% you can rely on maybe Chat GPT, and that you can make the Chat GPT answer better. But if you do not know anything, then there is no question of making something better because you are already useless. So zero plus zero multiplied with anything, it's always be zero, right? So that's why you need to know this on your own before you can rely or before you can make your answers better with Chat GPT, maybe, right? And in any case, as I mentioned, Chat GPT do not know how to code. Chat GPT will fail in handling a complex situation. So it's up to you, and you can test that, right? Finally, I think this is the good challenge or this is the good failure. Like when you are stuck in a problem where others have given up. Frankly speaking, this is the level that I am in right now. These days, I get problems, challenging problems from actuaries where they have failed, where they have given up, and they want me to solve that. Sometimes those are very difficult to solve. Sometimes those are impossible to solve, and I have to communicate, hey, I don't know, or sometimes take the help of others in my team and then solve that, right? But I think this is a great stage to be in. This means that you are already ahead. Being a qualified actually already means that you are probably in the 0.001%, 1% of the population, right? And if you are in a stage where you are stuck in this failure or this problem, then I think you are already in 0.0000, like add how many zero as prefix and then add a one, because now you are solving questions or situations where other actuaries have failed. Now, imagine the level of knowledge you would have to create such a solution, because other actuaries have tried their best, they have done their homework, and even after that, they have failed. So you need tremendous amount of knowledge to kind of pass through that, right? And sometimes, as I mentioned, you need a team. You need a good team to pass through that. Sometimes your knowledge would not be enough. Sometimes also it is impossible to solve when you have to tell that, yeah, I don't know this. This is impossible to solve, at least for me, right? So, but I think this is a good failure trap. This is the challenge. This is the type of challenge you need to face as an actuary. And this, I believe, would be the final level. After this, I think there is only Zen level, where you would not be bothered with anything and you are just managing things, right? But if you are in the hardcore actual work, I think this is the last level. And once you have confidence that, yeah, any problem, wherever other actually fails, even if I would solve probably 8 out of or 7 out of 10 problems, then I think that is a good, place, a good failure, a good challenge to have. So, but in order to reach this level, you have to pass through all other failure level, right? In sequential manner or in that order, so that you can come to this level and finally have the maybe uh, kind of what can I say, the adventure of actually open up before you, right? So this is a very dopamine release thing when you solve a problem which is very difficult, like which was stuck for which the entire team was stuck for 7 days, but then you find something out, constantly thinking and then solve that problem. That is what is true actually, right? That is where you are managing your risk and kind of finding something that others failed. Right? That is the ultimate culmination of your knowledge, both paper and work wise. So that's this is the level to be. So moving on, what would be the kind of solution for this? And this is a psychological solution because most people would stop at papers only, like I showed, maybe the number one or number two failure level. They would not overcome those and they would stay at that level only. Max, they would probably be going to an actual job and have some decent knowledge about that job, and that's it, right? They would never reach the level where other actuaries would come to them with their problem, right? So if you want to reach that level, then only this is important: psychological strength or mind strength mindset. First is your self-awareness, and I already made a video long back on self-love and self-awareness. Self-love is something that is mainly kind of practiced by females, and that's a deadly and dangerous thing. You should not follow that. Psychologically also, it will make you psychologically very very weak. But uh, without going into that comparison, self-awareness is something that you need to know what are your strength and weakness. Like I mentioned, I have personally passed through all those failures, and all those were my failures at one point of time. Then I overcome those, and those became my strength. I learned so much from each and every stage. So for that, the first and primary thing is to accept that I have a weakness or multiple weakness. If I can't accept that, then I can't move to the next level. So that is the first and foremost acknowledgement, knowing about yourself. So that is the first thing. Then future prediction, something may not be relevant. Maybe today the entire industry or the marketing or everything is about papers. Maybe just 2 years down the line, at least I can see all of those things would kind of go away, and maybe actual profession as such would not be that lucrative anymore. Maybe focus would shift to artificial intelligence, data science in that manner, and you need to understand the future, right? And make decision in that direction, where the demand and supply is less, kind of less skewed, and where you can use your current knowledge and move to that domain, right? So I think that is very very important to predict the future, and sometimes you might be incorrect, but you need to have some kind of strength in predicting the future. And any if you have read our scriptures and anything else, religious text, anything that of any novel of importance, then you see the strongest person are the people who can predict the future. As for example, Lord Krishna in Mahabharata or Gita, right? The person is able to predict the future or able to see the future. That's why he is so powerful. So any person who can see the future would be very, very powerful, right? That's what is required when you are solving a problem. You need to think of steps and think how it is going to solve this problem in future, right? So then only you will be able to, like, if you can visualize that steps, then only you can solve a particular problem, right? Otherwise, you won't be able to solve the problem. Or in other words, those actuaries who have failed in solving the problem, they were not able to visualize the steps to kind of come to that conclusion or solution, right? That is very, very important. Finally, sometimes you have all the self awareness. if you have everything that is required to know about future, but still you can't make a decision. As for example, you might know that yeah, I need to buy the course of actual inner engineering and Sparkle. And I've seen so many videos of Urban and Blue Dragon Universe, Blue Dragon Actuary. These guys have knowledge. I should buy that, but no, I. How can I spend 12,000? That is for papers. Or how can I spend 1,000? I don't have any actual software. I cannot get access to actual software. So what is the use of learning about actual software? I'll forget. So these are things where you already have the self-awareness, future prediction, but you are unable to make a decision. And trust me, 99.99% people struggle here, right? They can't make decision. Either their mom or dad or friends or family is making the decision for them. They are not. They themselves have an illusion that they are making the decision, but they are not making the decision. So this is where everyone struggles. Once again, that is why it is in red. So this is very, very important, most important out of all these three. If you have command over all these three, you would not meet any failure. Like you would again meet failures. Failures are kind of part of your life, and those are building blocks, right? So like they say, failures is the pillar of success. Provided you truly know what your failure is. That provided you truly know what your failure is my addition to that proverb. So I think if you are good in this three, then you will always know what your failure is, and you can then that is why you can always work on that, right? So that I'll close this video. If you have any question, like I mentioned, if you have anything that is relatable to you, how you have overcome that, please write that in the comment section. We have kind of closed our WhatsApp group, so you will not see the link in this video as well. So there is no WhatsApp group right now, and if we feel something later, then we can bring it back. But right now there is no WhatsApp group. Please follow us on the LinkedIn page. Once again, without that LinkedIn page following, you will not be able to gauge the different offerings that we are going to bring in future. And yeah, check out our courses, right? So those are honestly made, and it will give you strength no other actual coaching center can bring, because let's face the fact, they themselves don't know too much about actually. They themselves has not worked, or they themselves are paper actually, to be very honest. So without without that knowledge, how can they help you? They would only they paper actually can only create paper actually and mock others, knowing fully well that it's irrelevant. So that's it. See you in future videos. Like, share, subscribe, because that is how this channel will grow.